received a part in the mail on Thursday. It is now Saturday, and I'm finally getting around to fitting it to the bike. You might see it sitting on the bench behind me. It's not the bag of candy, it's the, you got it, engine diaper time. There's a reason I'll get into later about why I think it's time to go engine diaper, but this is a universal blanket, and you guys are going to struggle with me through this project of getting this to fit on a bike. I was a little nervous about doing this. Actually, I have a belly pan, a hard belly pan, like a containment pan. I had started the build for this, and I have everything packaged on this bike so tight that I think the blanket is going to be, or the diaper I should say, I'm going to slip up and call it a blanket 20 more times. But I think that the engine diaper is the lighter, simpler solution. So that's the route I'm going to go. Can't make this work, which I doubt. I'd consider going back and finishing the containment belly pan, but this diaper showed up different than I expected, and I mean that for the better. So I think I can make this work, and I'm sitting here, I'm kind of glancing over, looking at the bike now, how this is going to go in there. Like I said, everything on this bike is packaged pretty tight. Like, there's not a lot of space for other things. Everything, it's a fit and finish, everything's got a home. And that blanket, see, told you I was going to do it. 19 more times to go. That diaper has to fit through some areas that, looking at it from the outside right now, could be an issue, but I think I can come up with a way to make it happen still. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, I'm going to put it under the bike, and you guys are going to watch me try to basically fit this under for the first time. We'll see what we got to work with and what we got to modify, if anything. I really hope I can make this work, because I think there's going to be a big thank you at the end of this video for somebody, and I hope this sells a few more engine diapers. We'll have a little talk at the end here, but for now, let's get going on fitting this and seeing what we got to do. So it's going to be kind of fun, I think. So stay tuned. So here is said engine diaper. It's Taylor brand. This I think this is going to be the way to go. Its overall dimensions, I think, are going to be real close to go from, you know, roughly back of the chassis, shock pivot area, should catch up under the filter. It's, you know, it's roughly 2 inches deep, and it has, you know, it's got an absorbent pad in the bottom that's actually, it's velcroed in. It's like very well velcroed in, but you can see a velcro in there. But this will hopefully not have to contain the entire amount of oil in the engine, but you know, like, catch it enough and slow it down enough that we could safely get the bike stopped if there was an issue before we have any kind of spillover, slosh, whatever might be going on. Running billet pans on these bikes is always a good idea, because they're a little bit harder to break and get parts to come through, but you never know if you might have a rod come through the back of the cases, put a hole in that, you're going to have oil kind of running down. This is just going to catch that from getting to the back tire, and I think that's a good thing. So for now, we're going to go under the bike and see how she fits. As you can see right now, what we got going on here is, this is taller in the back. I'd say it's got about a 4-inch back on it. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this, because from the oil pan up to this bolt and where the, you know, engine bolt is there, that's only about 2 inches. So we might have to kind of roll, tuck, or fold the back edge of this to get up in there. I'm thinking these straps are going to be able to come around. Try to get you in here a little better. I think these back straps on the diaper, I think I'm going to be able to get them to come up and around the main chassis here, and strap it around that. The front side is where I think I'm going to have issues, because if you get in there real close and look at it, that's the space I got between the oil filter and the turbo housing. Yes, the filter does come off without having to remove the housing or remove the turbo, but the blanket might be rubbing on something, and I don't know what the overall you know, flame retardantness or heat resistance of this blanket is, but it might just have to be a sacrificial blanket to test this. Or worst case scenario is I might fit, once I get it up in there, I might fit a little piece of aluminum and we'll fasten it to the blanket as just kind of a wear pad, so it can just touch the turbo when it's not directly touching the blanket. If I need to do something like that, we'll investigate that once we know we got our fit right. But we'll check out the other side here. You know, kind of the same story over on this side. We'll have, like, I got the, you know, oil temp sensor here, so I think we're gonna have to tuck in and get something like this going on the back. Like, I just got to get it up flat to the pan is really all we're hoping for. The front, same scenario. You can see not a lot of room going on up there. It might be enough that it works, but we won't know until we get this on. I think the diaper itself should fit right through here. I missed this oil fitting in line, so that's not going to be an obstruction. So that'll kind of come in something like that, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. These are the straps to go up and around something, and then they'll come back down through these like little quick releases. Pretty handy. I just hope those aren't in the way of something on the turbo. So we're gonna have to start figuring what we're gonna strap this up and around, and maybe have to make some brackets to go around or something. But let's get this on the bike as best we can with what we got, even if I got to strap it up around something that's not where it's gonna go, but just to get tension on this to hold it up, and we'll evaluate from there. So what I'm going to start with here is getting this back into position. These straps are going to have to go up and over here, probably up through here. I'm going to make this happen. Come up. Come on. Well, Moses sandals. What is going on here? There we go. Okay. So now we got to get this from that sensor. Or do I just fold it down? Nope, we're going to go up and over that. Something like that. Tuck that in there. All right, we got to start getting some tension on this thing because I'm fighting with it too much. Start sliding the front into sort of where it's got to end up to get that started. Ooh, that might work there. Okay, that's progress. Okay, let's go see what we can do on the other side. Okay, we're getting somewhere. All right, what I got happening here is I got it strapped up pretty tight on the back side here, around that cross member here. Up in the front, we're up. I don't know if you can see that. We're up behind the turbo in front of the oil filter, and it might actually work. But what I need to do is I need to start getting something situated here to start getting tension on this thing to pull it where it needs to go. I think what I want to do is I'm going to make a little bracket to come off this header bolt and hook the strap through, then run back down and pull tension on it. And we'll see where we go from there. Because if I can get 3 out of 4 points that fast, we're making good ground. And through the magic of television, we got a bracket here. Nothing fancy, 1/8 inch aluminum with a little angle in it. Got a hole for a header bolt and about 1 1/8 inch slot for that 1 inch strap to go through. We're gonna bolt that to the header bolt and then strap it through. So we're gonna right in there. So let's see how this fits. Got it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming along so far. So I mean, it's a tight fit. There's no easy way around it. That like you gotta like fit and finish and finesse this stuff. It's not. This is like a universal diaper, but it's also could save your ass. But I got her strapped in here. This is just a slack. I'll do something with that later. But there's the bracket I made. It's loose right now, so I can get the angle on the strap good. This isn't a structural item. Like there doesn't need to be so much tension on this thing that you're ripping stuff off the motor and whatever. But you want it to be snug at least. But I'm thinking overall, there's a little bit of sag there, but I got an idea for that. We'll address at the end when I get the other corner situated. This corner here, a little bit of a bulky little wad right there, but we'll figure something out with the kickstand there. Street bike stuff. But I think we need to just keep going forward on getting the diaper secured and situated, and it will address little issues after that if we got to change or kind of rectify something. But we're going to go to that other corner now and see what we got going on. I think I'm going to end up making another one of them brackets quick and put it on the other side. Same situation, because I'm thinking that strap's going to come up in somewhat the same scenario. But on the other side, I might be able to come up and just strap it around the turbo for now to see how the overall fit is. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up off that bolt with another bracket. So we'll do a little fit here and see what we got. So a little tweaking, we got our fit a little better. I moved the strap from one side of a support to the other, and it fits a little better now. It's just pulling it a little better. So I'm going to address that yet, but I think we're going to be pretty good here. That's oil pan right there. So I mean, we're tight. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take you with me through making a strap bracket for in here. We'll lace it up tight. We'll address the slack, and then I got an idea for keeping the belly from flapping in the breeze. But for now, I laid out my template. We're gonna go ahead and cut this out, make a slot, and make it all look representable, we'll say. And then we'll bolt that on, and we'll see if this is the missing ingredient to getting that last corner up and snug. One more bracket done. Just a simple triangle with a hole and a slot. So I put a little kinker in there. That gets it kind of more straight down from the angle the motor's at. Now we will bolt it on and fish the strap through there and see if we can't get this thing wrapped up. Well, that's it. It's on there. I'm finished making the bracket up in here. It's hard to see. Let me get the light on it. But the strap actually, for the most part, avoids anything hot. And it might touch the compressor housing a little bit. I mean, this is going to get hot no matter what, but I don't think we'll have a melting issue. But once I got this strap on this side pulled up tight, everything with the diaper came along just fine. She's tight to the pan. Got a little bit of sag, but I got an idea for that. You can see it comes all the way up. This is the oil filter. So it actually cradles the oil filter. We got containment to the rear. Comes around snug to the bottom of the cross member there. Same thing going on this side. Get the kickstand out of the way. Everything's, I mean, there's a little bit, that's what I'm going to fix right there. That's my next plan. But the overall install is done. I did not shorten these straps for the diaper at all because they actually, the way they come off the diaper through the bracket, then they lace back down and the tension is pulled from here up. You're going to want that extra slack to be able to pull the diaper tight. And then I just zip tied it off, the slack to itself so it can't pull back through. Same thing back here. We just rolled up the slack and zip tied it off. These I can probably shorten a little bit because these are real super easy, simple to just lace up and around and through. I don't need a bunch of extra strap to grab to pull tension on. These I can just get to by hand and we're good. So these will get shortened. For now, I'm just tying it up, trying to get an overall feel of the install. The kickstand and the diaper, they touch, but they don't inhibit each other. So they touch just right in this area here. And all it is the spring is just touching it. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. Overall, I'm pretty stoked to have the diaper on the bike now. It's one of them things, should have had this years ago, especially the, a 1000. They're a little more brittle than the Busas and the 14s, I guess, but putting this kind of power to one of these bikes, maybe I've been lucky, or maybe I'm not pushing it as hard as I could, but I don't ever want to have this bike go down. I love this thing. So if we have an issue with the motor, especially the way I kind of wing things and try stuff, failure could happen. And with any luck, this will keep a situation from going from bad to worse. But for now, we're going to finish up the install with my solution for holding this up. And I almost feel like with the overall fit of this, we might have ourselves a little bit of an aerodynamic advantage. I don't know. I'm an aero and weight kind of freak, so I see shit and you gotta wonder. But for now, we're going to address the little bit of sag in here yet, which isn't a lot, but might keep it from flapping around and getting snagged on something, loading in and out of the trailer anyway. So I'll show you my idea for that. So here's what I'm dreaming up, and this is subject to change. But we got just a little bit of sag in the diaper here. Nothing major, it's just I could flap into the wind a little bit. This is what I have thought up here. So I was at the junkyard today looking for some random parts for my Dodge. And insert Dodges and junkyards joke here. But anyway, I found this strap. I don't know what it's for or what it does, but it was laying in one of the cars. And it has this buckle on it. And I instantly thought, I can use this. And you see what I already got going on here. The other end of this buckle, I cut the size that's looped around, punched a hole in it, and put a brass grommet in there that just happens to be 6mm ID, which is just these brass grommets. You can put these in tarps for like strapping them down to stuff or whatever. I'm using them in that strap as a bolt hole. So it's just a 2-piece grommet, punch a hole, insert grommet, put the top on, the retaining ring, and you just whack it, spread it out, it stays. So what I'm going to do is run this, and this was like sort of my trial to see if this was even going to be feasible. But I'm trying to stay under the more towards the front to middle area of the belly pan, or the belly pan, the diaper, the engine blanket. Told you, no, 18 more to go. But we're gonna clip this in. I'm gonna run this underneath, and we're gonna go to a bolt on the other side where I'm gonna put another grommet, and then I can just cinch it tight, and that should keep that from flapping. I did think about doing an actual, like a 1-inch aluminum strap around there, but I don't know that it's necessary, and it would get a little difficult to make it the right length and get the holes in the right spot to where the strap, the aluminum strap, is actually tight to the bottom of the oil pan and the engine diaper. So with this, I can actually pull it tight. And I think that's all we're gonna need, is just something to put a little tension on there so it doesn't flap. So come with me while I put a grommet in this thing. So on the actual buckle end, I already shortened up the slack on it so that once I cut this to length and pull it tight, we don't have a big, tab hanging out here. But what I got to do is I'm going to take this end. I already marked where I got the hole. I'm going to fold it under, and I'm going to grommet it doubled up. So we just need to figure out how much we need for doubling up. Trim that. Trim that. We're going to fold this over. Take a little wood block and our punch. And I'll put this up on the vise so it doesn't shake the table too bad. So we got a hole. Stick our grommet through there. Put the retaining ring on there. Now we just mushroom that over and it contains it. We got our die and our punch. Sorry, you were shaking around a little bit. That's it. Now I'm going to run this up, bolt it to the other side of the motor, and we're going to run this around the bottom and pull it tight and see what we get. There we go. If you look real close, you can see the bolt that is for the water pump block off plate. That bolt going through the grommet in the strap. It runs down under the oil pan, under the blanket, over to here. We got our buckle so I can remove it. Got our strap pulled tight, and as you can see, no saggy, no flappy. So just that easy. And I'm pretty happy with the overall, fit of all this, how it all kind of just came together. It was a pretty fun project. So that's going to wrap up the engine diaper install, which I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I think I've said it before. It was just one of those things that I just never got around to doing. It's not fun to spend. It is they're not cheap. It's not one of the cheapest things you'll ever buy, but it's one of those deals where you don't want to spend a bunch of money and not have it be something that makes the bike go faster or look better or you'll perform better in some way. So it's not a priority kind of purchase for a lot of people, but the longer I've been running this bike and the more I've been seeing times are changing a little bit, that I started to really poke around and ask questions, and I knew this was the direction I was going to end up going with one of these things for just general safety, peace of mind, and to a certain extent, common courtesy. Things aren't getting cheaper these days, and we're seeing costs of a lot of things that are going up. I saw that there's a traction compound increase going through. So, there's other supplies and cleaners and things that tracks use. That's all going up. And I don't want to be that guy, and I don't think anybody wants to be that guy that goes out there, has a mishap, oils down the track, and now the track has got to spend a lot of time and money in products to clean that up. They're not going to keep absorbing all of that. That's going to get passed down to us, the test and tuners, the the weekly racers, the racers in general. We're going to pay for that when uh, tech card prices go up, test and tune prices go up, admission goes up. The cost of all that stuff has to get spread out to somebody, and unfortunately, it's going to be the racers basically, and well, maybe even to a certain extent the fans. It's going to be more expensive for people to come even watch. And it sounds like I'm kind of like dragging this out a little bit, but I'm trying to just kind of look big picture, how something as simple as just containing an oil mess, can save money. And with a lot of like the no prep racing and stuff that we do, I don't know how many we've been to where a car, diapers weren't mandatory, where a car would oil down the track and now the event doesn't get finished, and people that had contending cars could have possibly won the thing are now, they're splitting pots with 6-8 other drivers at some point, depending on when it happens. And nobody wants that, and we're seeing it more and more as there's mishaps of this nature take place. One of the biggest oil downs I can personally remember at our local track was a motorcycle. As far as like the length of time, it was during an event, the length of time it took to clean it up, because it was a big mess and it was real slippery oil. Like I said, it's not a super cheap date to do something like this, but I think in the long run, I think with having these diapers being mandatory in some classes now, some of the pro classes and real fast stuff, I think there's a trickle down effect that's going to start coming down the line, and I think it's going to be a matter of time before this is just commonplace, where there might be a new track rule where, like with cars, under a certain ET need a cage or a parachute or a drive shaft loop. I think this might be the next evolution of safety items for a bike running faster than a certain time or a certain mile per hour. They might start requiring diapers. And why get, hung out in the wind and being one of the last one to get word of that? Get a jump on something like this. Start looking into it and make it happen. It's only going to make you and everybody else, happier in the long run. And it's like I said, it's all a money thing. It's just the racing environment's not getting more friendly to the racers or the fans. And if we can keep shows rolling and keep costs of products usage down for the tracks, it's better for everybody. So I owe RJ at One Stop Speed huge thanks for sending me this diaper. Like I said, I've got 3 versions of like a containment belly pan I'd been trying to make, and I haven't been able to make it the final result what I'd be really proud to show, and I just couldn't pull it off the way I wanted to. So I've been really pursuing this belly pan engine diaper containment kind of apparatus for a while now. And he had a post on Facebook where I don't even remember, I think it was a Hayabusa one that was for sale that he was advertising. And we just started a conversation about why there's not really any good ones, budget minded wise, available for the 1000s that are really like a tailored fit, custom, no, I don't want to say custom, but a specific fit for the 1000s like this. There's a lot of these bikes out there. And he made the point of there's not a lot of 1000s in the professional categories like Pro Street and some of the big bar chassis bike kind of stuff. They just wouldn't sell a lot of them to justify that type of fit. So he offered up a universal blanket or a universal diaper. And he basically offered to send it to me for trial to see if we could make this work on a 1000, especially like this is like worst case scenario with the turbo fitment, my specific plumbing setup, my exhaust, just the way I have things on this bike. It's a pretty tight package. that this diaper fitting on this bike is seriously was worst case scenario. I think just about any other bike would probably be easier, especially an all motor bike, a nitrous bike, something like that, or even a side mount turbo bike. Uh, it'll fit. And like you saw me, it was just a matter of a couple brackets and just getting creative with how it's kind of on there and how it's pulled, and they can make these work. And I mean, can you even see it right now? You know, I have a black oil pan on the bike anyway, so if you were to look at my bike right now, you don't even see that it's on there without looking real close. But yeah, it's huge thanks to him for just offering up the opportunity to do something like this to sort of spread the word of safety to everybody and show how it can be done on a 1000, tight package kind of bike. The Busa's got all the, everybody likes the Busa. They make everything for them guys. But this was my opportunity to maybe start the trend for you guys with the 1000s and, big motor, big power. No, wait, these are not big motors. The big power kind of bikes to start thinking big picture now and overall safety, because I would much rather be rebuilding a motor than rebuilding some ankles and elbows and knees and looking for a new bike because some mild mishap with the motor caused oil to get under the tire. And that's the bottom line of what this is supposed to, mostly prevent. It's just from getting oil under the bike, and anything to help with that, I'm all game for. So with that said, like I said, huge thanks to RJ at One Stop Speed. I should not screw that up. RJ at One Stop Speed. It's kind of funny because like I'm such like a diehard like fuel tech guy, and he's always giving everybody the fuel tech stuff shit. But if you don't get the joke and you can't take the banter, I don't know what to tell you. That's part of the game, and the fact that we kind of work together on this, ECUs aside. He's good people, and I appreciate that. So thank you, RJ, and you guys go check out some of the stuff he's got for sale. And we'll see you on the next video. We'll find something else to work on. Oh, one last thing. I didn't mention in my little wrap up here that strap that I made to go kind of under the bike. I have no idea whether I'm going to need that or not, but I've seen how things work in the wind that are soft and not tight. So that seriously, that was just me maybe overthinking stuff or just trying something different. I kind of have a tendency to over-engineer some things and then have to back it down when we figure out what we really need or what works. But it was basically a free little extra mod step to help hold that up tight to the bottom of the bike. If nothing else, it'll keep the belly or the diaper from fatiguing or kind of getting loose over time and drooping enough to maybe it'll snag on the trailer loading in and out. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But for now, I'm going to run it how it is and little peace of mind. So again, we'll see you in the next video.